Hello and welcome to another episode of Music and Words Unite. I am your lone host today, Troy. My partner Mark is on vacation, a well-deserved vacation, and I just wanted to make a quick video to respond to some of the comments. A lot of the comments we got on our last video about the band Maid, and people seem to like that reaction, and we're very happy. You know, that's our most successful video by far. And, you know, we're not really in this to make any money. We just love music, talking about music, discovering new music. So it was really a pleasant surprise to see the reaction we got for that. So I said, you know what? At the end of this next week coming up, so I would say in about 5 or 6 days, we'll be releasing our first Bandmade album review, where we're going to review every song on an album. And I'll leave it as a surprise to what album that is, actually, if you're a Bandmade fan. But we would love for you to check out that video. So that is coming out at the end of this week. So I have heard more Bandmade music, but I don't really want to spoil that. But I have not heard this song, so that should be a hint that it's not the album that this song is Hate is on. So let's get right to it. Yeah, here we go. Hate live. Okay, so I'm going to stop, pause along the way so I can actually just talk about it. I kind of don't like talking over the music. It's almost disrespectful sometimes, I feel like. So, you know, what jumps out at me right away is it's a great opening riff, obviously. And it right after the first chorus, the same riff kicks in. By the way, I am a guitar player. I used to be decent when I was younger, not very good anymore, but I do like the guitar, and I also play the drums. So drumming, guitar, bass, I'm into all of it. So anyway, I just can't sing at all. So the guitar work is great. The riff is the opening riff is really great, of course. What I want to say about the drummer, and this is something I noticed, maybe a teaser for the album review, and I could be way off on this, just my initial take on it, but I'm hearing it here. I hear a lot of different influences that this band has, which is really cool, actually. Because I love all kinds of music, and I love rock music, metal music, pop music. In fact, our second biggest video on this channel is about ABBA, so you know, which is more of a pop group. So you know, big fan of all that, and I really like how this band, you know, blends those genres together. But as I was saying about the drummer, it does sound like one of the many influences that they probably had growing up is maybe Avenged Sevenfold, and or even some Dream Theater. Again, I'm teasing the album review, but there are certain parts of that album which I felt like were a little bit Dream Theater-esque on some of the odd time signatures they were doing, which is Dream Theater, by the way, is my all-time favorite band. So if I'm saying that, that's a big compliment. But the Rev, who's the drummer for Avenged Sevenfold, his favorite drummer is Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater. So I hear some influence, which initially really actually attracted me to this band, is the drumming. But then I kind of heard the drumming and the guitar, but then the bass work really just sold me, you know, when I first started listening to that album. So I just want to say about this song in particular, the chorus is very catchy, and that's a theme I've heard from almost every song I've heard from this band, is very, very catchy choruses, you know, strong pop sensibility choruses mixed with, you know, metal and rock music, and a blend of genres, right? I saw that in the comments that people were talking about. This band is really a blend of many genres, and I can hear that, right? And that's something that I think, you know, probably sets them apart. there's the bass. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna back it up, but I just want to say one of the things that really stood out to me again. I'm gonna harp on this because I'll learn the bass player's name by the album review, I promise. But anyway, one of the things that really stood out to me was how in a lot of rock music, and not necessarily good rock music, but in a lot of rock music, bass is pretty basic, right? It pretty much just follows the guitar rhythm and some of the root notes of the guitar. But in this band, the bass player really stands out. Plays very melodically and plays our own bass lines. Even through the chorus, she was playing a pretty unique bass line. So, and that's not something you would typically hear during a chorus. So, and that's the first thing that stood out to me in this verse. So let's just bring it back again real quick. Wait, am I going to get a bass solo after I was just talking about how awesome the bass player is? Okay, great. Okay, this video is for me. Whoever requested this, you don't know me, but you seem to connect with me musically, I guess. So, and many people requested this in the comments. And in fact, looking at this, we're about to see something that people replayed. All right, cool. So I'm going to back up. I just want to point out how I'm not a singer, so I'm not even going to attempt to sing, but there's a note that she's singing in the chorus that she repeats twice in the chorus, and it really makes the chorus very catchy. I think it's this lyric right here. Let me back it up. That one. I mean, that's very catchy. Hold on. Okay. So number one, the bass tone, just the tone of the bass is killer. The tone that she has, it really cuts through the mix. And I forgot to say something about the singer, by the way. And I know I've never seen this band live. It's the first time. I mean, she's nailing it vocally. She sounds fantastic. Pretty much sounds like from what I heard from the first song, like on the record, you know. But I'm looking forward to hearing more from the singer too in this song. But yeah, I can't not talk about what I'm seeing right now on the bass. So yeah, I mean, she's killing it. That bass solo was awesome. You know, again, I'm a big fan of progressive music, progressive rock music. You know, Rush, Dream Theater, Yes, Genesis, King Crimson. And one of the things that those bands have in common is great bass playing. And I see that, you know, people in the comments told us that this band has some prog rock influence, which on the first song, I didn't necessarily hear it, but the more I listen to that album, the more I hear it. And now I'm starting to hear, oh, it's like the musicianship is really in that genre, in that realm, right? Where you can tell that they are very skilled at their instruments. They take it. I can't imagine how many hours a day that they've had to practice when they were younger, right? And all the influences that they had that they probably learned from to be able to play at this level live. It's really fantastic. I mean, they're extremely tight as a band live. And I know this is obviously a official video, right? So anything like that, they're not going to show any if there's any live mistakes. You know, we're all human beings, right? But even still, the guitar playing, the bass playing is just spot on. I mean, nothing but great things to say about that. So I'm going to back it up a little bit so I kind of want to hear the bass solo again, to be honest with you. Oh, beautiful transition. Hold on, can we just appreciate the chord progression there at the end of that solo? It was a beautiful transition from the instrumentation to coming back in with vocals. So one of the things I wanted to point out that I just heard, which, you know, I'm learning about this band, obviously. Before I go to that, let me say it's very refreshing to hear, as I'm getting older, right? I'm feeling like, okay, people are getting younger and younger as I'm getting older and older, so it appears. But younger people than me, right? Really embracing technical playing and musicianship in rock music, right? I feel like that's been gone for a while. It has definitely come back over the last decade or so, for sure. And seeing a band like this who, you know, obviously embraces it, takes it seriously, and puts it right into the live show is like, not only are we going to do a guitar solo, we're going to do a dueling guitar and bass solo, right? I'm here for that. That's why I go to live shows. You know, I want to see performances like that. I want to see people skilled at their instruments that play them. Not that you have to be the most skilled player in the world, right? But if you are very skilled, I would like to see it. You know, show it off. So otherwise, I could just listen to a CD. You know, or you know, no, I'm dating myself. Streaming or even a vinyl. So anyway, yeah. One of the things I wanted to point out, though, when I was talking about, you know, this band's potential influences, say that potentially, is that there's a part of that bass solo that reminded me of a bass part from a Yes song, actually. And if you don't mind, I will bring that up here. Let's check this out. There's a little part in the bass solo that reminded me of that. That's all. There's the part right there. That just reminded me of that. It's a different key, but you get the point, right? So I actually think that's very, very cool, by the way. So, and I don't even know if that we're influenced by that at all. It's just the first thing it reminded me of. So, yeah, yes, Heart of the Sunrise is a fantastic song. And so is this so far. So I'm going to skip a little bit and let's get back to the vocals. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so that was Hate question mark by the band Maid. You know, my first reaction, I'm really excited to now get to the album review. I haven't finished all my notes for it. I've listened to the album a couple times, taken some notes, but the way our channel typically works is we do notes for every song and we kind of do a deep dive on every song, talk about the album as a whole, talk about where it fits into a band's discography potentially, and in the relevancy in their discography. So yeah, and share it with you all. So you know, we're a very small channel, obviously. We just started a couple months ago, and we started doing we had a really bad production back then, and not that we have good production now, but, you know, we have full-time jobs. This is really not a career for us. This is just a fun hobby. So the fact that you all, Bandmaid fans, have embraced our first video, we really appreciate that, and obviously we want to bring you more content. So and just so you know, we do have a lot of variety in this channel. You're going to see a lot of non-Bandmaid material coming out, and that's fine. But we would like to, you know, splice in this, discover this band, thanks to you, right? So leave a comment, leave as many comments as you like. Subscribe if you want to see more from us in the future, especially if you want to check out our album reviews. There's a lot of reaction channels, right? And some people do it way better than us, and I fully admit that. But one of the things that we'd like to, you know, separate ourselves and have a niche for is, number one, album reviews and kind of rankings and things like that. And two, being a variety channel where we really just talk about all kinds of music and not just a specific genre. So, and I just want to also give a plug for we have an official Apple Music and Spotify playlist, which is all our album reviews and reactions videos so far. You can just go through all the playlists. You'll see it right in the description below, and everything we do is free. There's no Patreon, there's no nothing. We just we just do this for fun. So thanks again, and thanks for all the support. And if this band is playing in the US, I would love to go see them. We'll look it up before the next album review. Okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously this looks like a killer live show. So take my wife. She actually watched my reaction video of the first one. She's like, I like this band. So there you go. My wife's a new fan, Bandmaid fan. So all right. Well, until next time, and I will see you hopefully in the album review. Excuse me. In the album review video. And if you have some time, check out our other reviews. One of my favorite rock albums of the last couple decades, called Prequel by Ghost. We did a whole album review of that. And if you watch that, that kind of gives you an idea about how we do our album reviews. So anyway, I'll give a plug for that one video, but check out any videos you like. Well, thanks again.